Most of us have been given the wrong idea about what productivity is. Most of us believe that productivity is working really hard and working towards goals that are going to make you rich and successful. And sure, that might be some people's idea of productivity, but it should only be your idea of productivity if that's what matters to you and that's what you are working towards. Productivity is about meeting your goals, doing what is important to you, what you value. Self-care can be productive. A lot of things can be productive that we don't conventionally think of as productivity. I hear this a lot. People are like, oh, we need to stop being so focused on productivity. You need to take care of yourself and slow down. And I would like to argue that with, well, taking care of yourself, slowing down is productive. Most of us haven't found what is truly important to us, what our goals are, what matters to us. So we're just kind of out here doing things we believe are productive because someone told us, or we're looking at someone else. And comparison is not productivity. Looking what someone else is doing and they're doing all this stuff, so I should be doing all this stuff, making yourself feel guilty and bad for now doing said things is not going to lead to the outcome that you want. Step one is finding what is really important to you. What do you value in life? What are your end goals? What are you actually working toward? So often we have a to-do list full of things that don't even matter to us. And why are we working towards them, or why do we think we should be? We don't even know. An important starting point, again, is going back to what is it that I really want, and going from there. Figuring out what kind of life you see for yourself, and again, prioritizing your needs. Meeting your needs is a productive thing. If you ate today and you took care of yourself and you slept enough, you did everything that you need, those things are productive. A big part of what is making us feel drained and unproductive is that we are focusing so much time on things that don't matter, that leave us feeling drained because we're not prioritizing what we should and need to be focusing on. Therefore, no one can tell you what you need to do. You can't listen to me, I can't tell you, I can't give you a to-do list or tell you these are the things that are productive, because it's such a personal thing and we have to truly align with what we're doing. Otherwise, it doesn't feel meaningful and we aren't really motivated to do it because we don't really care that much, or we don't even know why we're doing it. Now that we're all on the same page about what productivity truly is, how do you stay productive? Because it's not always easy. It's tempting to just indulge in your favorite treats and habits that are poor. They're not serving you. They're not leading you to what you want ultimately. It's hard, especially when we live in a society where things are so readily available for us. Our phone is right there in our hand. We can just scroll for hours. We are on all these apps that are designed to keep us there, designed to keep us engaged for as long as possible. So it's hard. You're fighting a system that's almost against you. But I have some things that I hope will help you. And the first thing that has helped myself personally is rephrasing your to-do list. I am someone who has a lot of things sometimes on my to-do list that I've just been postponing forever, and I give myself an excuse like, well, I don't have the time or the money or whatever the reason is. For the longest times it was reading. I had a long list of books that I'd been collecting that people were recommending to me or that I just really wanted to read. And I told myself, well, I can't buy books right now because I don't have the money. And then I realized the library exists and it doesn't cost anything. I understand that library books aren't always the most enticing options, as people like to pick their nose while they're reading. I don't know what it is about every library book I ever read having boogers in it. I'm like, are people just not capable of grabbing a tissue? Like, I got kind of tired of it, I'll be honest, and I get it. I did invest in a Kindle, which was a great decision. It was a little bit expensive. I believe it was around $100, but it's been a great investment because now I can get all of my books downloaded onto my Kindle and I can take them wherever I go. And if I travel, I don't have to worry about, oh, I'm almost at the end of this book and now I need to bring another one and I'm going to carry all this extra weight. I just need my little Kindle, and it's thin, it's easy. And I can also download scripts on there. Everything that I need is right there. And it's just like the little simple one. I know they have the Kindle Scribe, which is really nice for note taking and everything, but the little basic one is really nice. And like I said, I can download the ebooks directly from the library onto there, and I don't have to pay for them. But back to my main point about rephrasing items on your to-do list. So often we have things that we know have been on our list forever, and we don't want to touch it because we just look at it and we're like, oh, I don't want to do that. Rephrasing the wording can really help, and tapping into your inner child and making it something fun and playful can really help. I enjoy organizing. I think it's so fun. So if I can rephrase the thing I need to do into something more along the lines of organizing or fixing or cleaning, that really works for me. Might not work for you if that's not appealing to you, but try to find something fun about it, or switching it in a way that makes it sound more appealing and fun and playful. Another thing to do is to make it really simple and easy. I actually just shared a short on this. It's an old short that I recorded forever ago, and I just found it. I'm like, yeah, this is such a good tip. Sometimes we have things that they're too big, and we don't want to do them because they sound and feel overwhelming. If you just change it to something simple and easy, it makes it really easy for yourself. If I have things that I know I'm working on, like I'm writing and I've written out a couple notes, half the battle is just going on to my laptop, opening the document to start writing. Once I'm in it, it's like I enjoy it. It's just like the act of getting there that is most of the mental effort. So much of what we procrastinate on is just starting, like going to the gym. I've never gone to the gym and not worked out and not done what I was going to do. It's getting there that is 90% of the battle. Personally, this has been very effective for me, changing the wording to something fun. That's number one. Or again, just making it so easy, just changing it to something simple, because it's really trying to get you to do the thing you need to do, right? And sometimes you have to break it down and make it simple. When I was giving the example of writing, I sometimes will write down notes when I have ideas. And if I'm struggling to write, then I'm like, just add these notes. I'll put on my to-do list, just add these notes to the document. That's it. I mean, how easy is that? Copy and paste, essentially. Motivating me to open the document, which is, again, half the battle. And now once it's there, I paste it. I'm looking at, okay, well, this needs to be cleaned up. And, oh, I have this other idea. And then it kind of helps get you started. That's the key with this tip. It's about getting you started, which is, again, it's like a majority of the issue of, not the issue, but the fight we have with ourselves when it comes to being productive and getting over the procrastination hump is just getting yourself started. I've always heard the idea of motivation gets us started and habit keeps us going, which I agree with. I think it's true, and for most people it's true. We get motivated to do something, and once you stick with it long enough, it eventually becomes a habit. But sometimes this can be really tricky if you aren't finding the motivation to start, because sometimes it's not there. So then what are you supposed to do when the motivation isn't there? I find it quite effective to treat myself before. If I'm struggling to work out, maybe get myself a new pair of shoes or a new workout outfit or something that I know is going to get me excited to put the clothes on to actually go to the gym. That way I'm giving myself a little treat. I'm going because now I'm excited to go. There's something new, fresh, exciting about it. It's not the same old. And once I get there, I realize, okay, this is actually really fun. Or I simply just need to change up my workout routine. I need to do something different because I'm tired of doing the same old thing, or I don't feel that it's enjoyable, because you have to find a routine that is actually enjoyable. And so often, especially back when I used to do more weight training, I would always cut out exercises that I didn't enjoy, because what's the point if I'm not going to do it anyway? Why do I have it there if I'm not going to push myself to do it? So I'm like, let me just filter out anything that I don't enjoy and condense it down to the things that are actually going to get done. This approach puts motivation more at the end, right? Like sometimes we feel motivated to start, you get into it, and then the habit kicks in and it just becomes routine. But if you don't find that motivation, then you have to find something to kind of trick yourself into it, like a treat or something new, something fun, try something different. And then the motivation will usually kick in because you realize, okay, this is actually pretty fun. Because that's the case with a lot of things that we procrastinate on. Once we actually start, that motivation starts and we're like, you know what, this is actually kind of fun. I enjoy this. Now, the key is to not overwhelm yourself. If you're someone who doesn't really enjoy organizing or cleaning or getting something done around the house, and you are all of a sudden have this burst of motivation to just clean out your kitchen. So you rip everything out of the cabinets, and now you're left with this massive mess, and you're looking at it, and now you have decision fatigue because you don't know what you want to keep and what you're going to do with all this stuff. And don't put yourself in that situation. Don't overwhelm yourself. Do a little bit at a time. I always say start with one drawer at a time. You don't even have to organize your whole kitchen. Just go to an area that you know. Sorry, my camera shut off. As I was saying, just go to one area that needs to get tackled because it's most important and go from there. Just start somewhere and start small. Don't overwhelm yourself because you're going to be left with a giant mess that you're not going to want to deal with and making the problem even worse. I've already made quite a bit of content on productivity already. This happens to be one of my favorite topics: productivity, self-care, organization. These tend to be themes, general themes, I guess, throughout my content and what I talk about because it's important to me and I like it and I care about it. So I know I will probably repeat myself if you have watched or listened to me before. So some of the things I'm about to share, I'm realizing I probably said in the past, but it's good. Repetition helps us learn. It's how things stick. And I actually like it too, because sometimes I'll go back on my old content and review stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of forgot, because I'm not an expert in anything that I share. I'm just sharing things that I'm like, this actually worked for me. And sometimes I forget because there's a lot of good different tips out there. And we're not always going to be, that's another thing, we're not always going to be productive. I'm not always in a productive state of mind 24/7, 365 days a year. I have phases where I go through like, I'm like in a rut. I'm like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to do that. And then finally I get back into some of these tips that have helped myself a lot. And I realize, okay, yeah, this is a lot easier than I'm making it out to be, because it's usually a lot worse in our head than it is in reality. That just tends to be the case. So one thing I wrote down is putting your phone away. Our phone is such a distraction. It's a great tool, but it's also a huge distraction. I find when I hide it, I don't even have to put it in the other room. If I just out of sight, out of mind, like I'll just slide it behind a pillow or hide it somewhere so I can't see it, I'm much less tempted to reach to check what time is it, did someone message me, whatever your brain is trying to lure you in with to check on your phone. Just getting it out of sight can help a lot. Another classic tip that I'm sure we've all heard about before is tidying up the area you are in. I find it so hard to focus if there's clutter everywhere and I get distracted by all the things I'm seeing, or this needs to get done. Just do a quick general tidy up of your space and keep like your desk space as organized as you can, or wherever you work. You're going to get distracted. Even if you don't get distracted easily, it's the visual noise that is distracting. It's so much for your brain to take in versus having more of a clean space to start with. That would be probably like my number one tip. Make it easy on yourself. Like, don't make it harder for yourself to be productive, because then you're just going to be fighting against your brain's natural tendency to have your eyes drawn to all the stuff around you or your phone. When we talk about productivity, I think it goes hand in hand with procrastinating, because that's often the struggle. To be productive is because you're procrastinating on something. Remember that procrastination is just you trying to avoid unwanted feelings. So finding out what is it that you're trying to avoid, what is it that's really bothering you about the task. Like I said, sometimes it's easy just to break it down into something simple, rewording it, changing it to something different, and trying to find a different approach so you can at least get started on it. But finding what it is you're really trying to avoid can help you figure out a better approach, a better way to tackle the thing you're trying to get done. Or if it's something deeper, like, okay, what is it that I'm trying to avoid with this? Why does this make me so uncomfortable? Is there something I need to deal with here? Is there something I need to work on? I'm trying to keep this so general, so it's hard to give advice, but that's generally the idea with procrastination, is that you're avoiding something you don't want to feel, or a feeling that you're like, oh, I didn't enjoy this last time. So now your brain remembers that one time you did it, or the last time you did it, so now you don't want to do it because you're like, oh, that wasn't fun, or I wasn't enjoying it. Your brain is trying to keep you safe and alive. That is how it's designed. By design, your brain wants to keep you comfortable. Anything that makes you feel uncomfortable, your brain is going to try to avoid as a protection mechanism. That is how we've stayed alive for so long, because so often things that make us feel uncomfortable are unsafe, like touching something very hot that could burn you, or eating food that doesn't taste good because it's spoiled or contaminated. So there's a lot of things that are really built in with when it comes to our brain, when it's just trying to protect you, is what I'm saying. But now we know there are a lot of things that we do that are uncomfortable that actually long term are good for us. So you are kind of fighting your own biology sometimes, so give yourself grace and patience when you're trying to do something hard, and give yourself lots of rewards and praise if you can, because so often this negative talk that we give ourselves, like, you're not doing this today, oh, you had such a bad day, you didn't do enough, you're lazy, all that language is just setting you up for more and more failure. And you need to set yourself up for success. You need to end your day on a positive note. Even if it wasn't a productive day, say, hey, I had a lot going on, things came up unexpectedly that I had to deal with, and I did my best, and tomorrow is going to be another great day, and I am leaving all the nonsense and everything that I don't want to take with me into the new day. I'm leaving that behind, and I'm starting fresh tomorrow with a fresh mindset. And again, I'm going to do my best, because that's all we can do. My last thing I want to leave you with that I wrote down: take a break when you reach a point where you're getting frustrated. This is once you've actually started and you're in the midst of productivity and things are going great. I'm someone who, once I get locked in, I can edit whatever I'm doing for hours. I can just sit for hours and hours and hours and do the same thing without stopping to eat or drink or just stretch, And that's not always great. It's good to take breaks. It helps give your brain a break. It helps you kind of readjust and check in with yourself, like, what do I need right now? So that is my advice. And my leg is falling asleep. Come back to something that is actually going to be fun. Don't leave in the middle of a problem. Don't leave future you something to come back to that's just going to be aggravating. Although, a little caveat, don't continue working on something that's frustrating you, that you cannot find a solution to. And a lot of the time when we're facing that, it's because we're hungry, tired, or whatever. So those are the times where it's best to just take a break, take a step away, drink something, eat something light. Again, maybe just go outside, stretch, breathe, take a little walk, whatever you have to do to refresh yourself, to give yourself a fresh mindset to come back to the problem. But this tip is more so in general, like, try not to leave in the middle of something that isn't that, it's not going to be that fun to come back to. It's always good to leave off on a good note where you're like, you know what? If you're writing something, like, you're not going to be in the middle of a flow and then just cut yourself off. But I mean, still where you're like, you know what? I could keep going right now, but I'm going to take a little break and I'm going to look forward to coming back to this. Again, a balance that you have to find for yourself. I hope there's something you can take with you today, and I wish you the best of luck in your productivity journey and becoming more productive and getting things done. And I hope you see productivity a little bit differently after this. And remember that it is something very, very personal to you, and it's all about what your goals are and what you want out of life. And no one can tell you what that is. That's a very personal thing. that's everything I have. Take care of yourself, and I'll be back for more.